So just to make sure I understand correctly, what's your official title at Avalanche?
It's the dumbest title. It's I'm called, what is it? It's advanced level designer.
A level designer.
Yeah, I don't know why it's advanced. It's just they just add prefixes,
If I call you a game designer or game developer,
game developer, I don't know if game designer really is the same thing. Level designer is kind of a different category.
Level designer.
Kind of like I'm in the worlds department, so I build worlds.
Is that what you've always done there, or is that recent?
That's mostly what I've always done. I started out as an environmental artist.
Okay, then that's what I'll introduce you as game developer or specifically level designer for Avalanche Studios. Does that sound right?
Avalanche Software.
Avalanche Software.
Avalanche Studio it's a different.
Oh, they're different.
There's an Avalanche Studio.
Okay. All right.
So, I don't know who came first though. It's weird.
It's amazing to me that those didn't. Anyway, we'll talk about that once we get past the intro.
Okay.
All right. Hey everybody, welcome out to Retro Game Scene. I'm Michael here at Game Changers, and this is our show where we chat with cool and interesting people in the local community, and then for the second half we make them play a game. Today we've got Erik Cambridge. He is a local, would you say game designer, level designer?
Level designer.
For Avalanche Software.
Software, yes.
Not Avalanche Studio?
Not Avalanche Studio.
They're different, apparently.
Yeah, it's a different thing. Who knew?
Okay, well thanks for coming out, man. I appreciate you joining us for the show. Do you want us to tell us a little bit about what you do?
Oh gosh, as you said, I work in games. I'm what's called a level designer, and my wife would say I draw on the computer, which is not even close to what I do. But I formulate kind of the environments or the worlds that the player goes through. But I like to sum it up as I try and figure out how to kill the player in a really friendly way. So my goal is to broadcast to the player, I'm going to kill you, and you're going to be thrilled about it because it's going to be super fun. And that's kind of what I'm going for usually.
Okay, so maybe a little bit of a sadistic streak built into the job.
It's laying out how we're going to flow through the map, what kind of puzzles are we going to encounter, when I'm going to pop an enemy, how the triggers work. Yeah, it's
very really like tailored more than people probably realize when they're actually playing it.
Oh yeah. It's
cool.
Every little thing you're just iterating over and over again. Like it's just fun. You're trying to knock off all kind of the rough edges. There's all kinds of things in the game that can just irritate the player.
Okay, what are some of the games that you've worked on?
Okay, well, when I started my first game, and this is the most important one, was Hannah Montana Spotlight World Tour.
Oh, very important.
Yeah. So that was a Wii game. You did some waggling with the Wiimote, and some dancing happened. I was an intern at that point, but apparently it sold pretty well.
Not a lot of killing the player in that game, I imagine.
No, but at that point, I was in what's kind of like in world design. So I did a lot of like 3D modeling, set dressing, making textures, environmental art. I was an intern, so they didn't trust me with anything super important. Making
the game look like the show.
Yeah, and then we moved on to other Disney properties. At that time, Avalanche Software was owned by Disney, which is awesome because we got like Disney passes. Hooray!
Oh, you get to actually go to Disneyland.
Yeah, we had a thing. It was called a Silver Pass. You just flash it. You get in for free. You get like, what was it? Like 40% off everything. Ooh. 40% off except churros.
Except churros.
I tried. My wife and I tried for hours to find a churro cart that would take my Silver Pass. And like, no
margins.
These are
on
too
the churros.
precious. And that's fine. They were really good churros. Anyway, where was? Oh yeah. Okay. So Hannah Montana, and then I was still an intern. We moved on to a project called Bolt. That was a Disney property.
The dog?
Yeah, the dog.
Oh, okay, I know that one.
John Travolta, Grease.
Yeah,
he's also a dog. And so we made it.
John Travolta's the voice of Bolt?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that. I have a kid, and he watched it once or twice, and I saw little bits and pieces, but.
Well, one day he'll watch like the film Grease, maybe, and he'll just freak out. I'm like, that's the
guy.
Like,
wait, I know that guy.
Yeah, that's him. That's the dog, dude. So at that point, At this point, I'm young. I'm just out of college, and I just recently got married, so I'm just trying to stay employed,
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, "You're an intern. How would you like to try, doing this scripting logic?" So at that point, we had a new engine they were developing. It was called Octane. Yeah, I'm allowed to say that.
Okay.
It's years ago.
You got to check your mental. Do I have an NDA?
Yeah, and they had this object attributes kind of scripting language where you go on an object and you attach different I guess, logical components to it, and you tell it what it needs to do. So you're like, I want the door to open, and I want, this object to move here.
So it's building blocks instead of just like straight code.
Yeah. I always say I'm called in my field, I'd be what's called a technical artist, which means I'm not smart enough to code, but I'm not artistic enough to be an artist. So I just kind of fit right in there in the middle, like mortar. I'm not a brick.
In between the bricks.
yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. And so I start doing level logic for that game.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out I could do it, which is weird because I never considered, I went to school for like hardcore art. I was going to be an animator. I was all excited until I found out it was tedious. Not knocking anybody who loves animation. It is amazing, but my gosh.
You do a lot of the same picture over and over and a lot of...
and it's like hours of just kind of tuning the movement, and it looks really good at the end, and I love the final product, but it wasn't for me. So I started doing kind of the level logic, and it turns out I could do it, and at that point, this is earlier in the industry, so they need anybody who can do it. So like, hooray, I get to stay working at Avalanche.
Right.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of job security at places like that, is there?
No, not really. I mean, Avalanche is a wonderful studio. Like they're
kind of the exception.
They're kind of, like they've been around for so long. We recently celebrated our 30th anniversary, and like,
okay,
that's not a lot of studios that can make it that long. They're usually kind of
right.
There's so much churn and rolling in the industry just because you're only as good as your last game, and the fact that my bosses, and hats off to them, have kept this thing going for so long. It's an impressive feat.
They found a way.
They did, yeah. Through lots of different things. We've had a lot of turmoil over the years, but they've always. It's been that kind of company where they try really hard to take care of their employees.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. And so I'm doing this level logic stuff, and it turns out I can do it, which is great. And so that's kind of where my role fell into. And then when we rolled off that project, we started Toy Story 3, which actually was a pretty well-selling game at the time.
That was on the Wii as well, right?
It was on the Wii. We developed it for the 360 and the PlayStation 3.
Oh, okay.
And they introduced this new wonderful thing in our new engine, and it was called Meridian, which I'm sure I think I can talk about. We don't even have that engine anymore. That's years ago. And I thought it was the coolest thing. Instead of like going into these object attributes on an object in a game level, you can bring up this like graph in a side panel, and you had all these logical nodes, and you link them together. It's kind of like, it's not dissimilar from Scratch, but it's mostly like a Blueprint in Unreal Engine. I didn't know this at the time because we didn't use Unreal Engine, but our programmers were kind of, they were ripping off Unreal.
Oh, okay. I think the only kind of game programming that I've ever tried to do was in Unity, and
that's C#, right?
Yeah, but it was like you would have like an object in the game, and that object would then have like a code like window that you could type the code into, and then you could link those together. I don't remember exactly.
I think they're called in Unity. They're called like prefabs. Like you have like an object, and you can assign it a bunch of different C# scripts, and then it's like its own little contained object, and you can populate it anywhere. And then within the C# script, you have all these references to different variables outside into the other objects, and so they talk back and forth.
They can pass it back and forth.
Yeah, they send little messages.
I actually went to college for programming.
Oh, really?
At first, and after about a semester of, because at that time when I was doing it, we were doing like JavaScript was where we started, and everything was just text file in Eclipse or whatever. And just a huge long string of text and no visual representation of what you're doing at all. No helping hands, no guides, whatever. And I couldn't get the dang thing to generate a random number that wasn't like consistently the same number. Or like I couldn't get it to do basic math properly because of some not having the right kind of variable in the right spot or something. And so I'm like, this is not for me. I'm gonna go into business.
Well, yeah. I did the same thing. I didn't go into computer science, but when I was going to school to be an animator. So I did the animation program at the BYU, and my instructors told me, what you should do? You should do kind of a minor. You do the minor, right? And you should do it in computer science. You could learn to code. You'll be awesome. And so I did that. I started taking a Java class. And I was the same way. I'm like, I have no idea what's happening. I can't.
I bet it was helpful though later on in your career.
It wasn't, because I was too stupid. I was just an idiot. Like I couldn't make any of it work. And so for some reason, being at Avalanche though, like the visual scripting, it like clicked in my head. I think maybe I just think in pictures and not words.
Maybe it's a different kind of mentality.
Yeah. And so like once they introduced Meridian, then like my world exploded in terms of the cool things you can do in level design. So I just kind of fell in love with it, and that's kind of where I stuck going forward. I was just kind of in that mortar area in between the art and the programming. I just kind of glue it all together.
Has game development really like changed a lot over the last 10 years or so?
Well,
like, is it still basically the same process, or are you doing more or less the same kind of work? Or
I mean, it's such a, there's so many things that go into game development. So my particular area of game development is fairly similar, except the scale is increased. So, and you can't just, it's not enough just to be able to script a little piece of gameplay. You have to kind of account for that we're moving into open world. So you can't necessarily like do every little thing all over the place. You have to start thinking more procedurally. So, you know, I can tailor this kind of gameplay for this area, but over here, we just need to be able to kind of almost RNG gameplay.
Gotcha.
In certain areas.
Well, because you don't know the order that people are necessarily going to do stuff in.
Yeah,
you can't really take that into account.
Yeah, that's one of the worst parts is like you want this difficulty curve. You're like, how do you keep a player engaged if you don't know where they're at?
Right. Oblivion's solution was it levels up the monsters with you.
I know, I hate that.
A lot of people either love it or hate it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the lazy option. It's like that's easy. The difficulty will literally just follow you. But
and that works really well. And I hate it. Funny, like Final Fantasy VIII was my favorite RPG till I found out that they're just scaling it with you. I'm like, oh
yeah,
you ruined it. But I hate that. But even
just on principle,
that's not what an RPG's for. I need to be able to level grind and like, you know, God tier everything. Like, no, you can't do that.
I'm the opposite. I hate grinding. If I have to grind to experience an RPG story, it makes it very difficult for me to enjoy the RPG unless the battle system is extremely engaging, like Grandia 1.
Okay, yeah.
That battle system where you're like trying to time counters to cancel the enemy's moves so they don't get to attack you at all. That I enjoy. But like for most, like Final Fantasy 7, right? If I have to grind in Final Fantasy 7 to, you know, get to the next area, I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it with a fiery passion. It's a good game. It's got a good battle system, but it's not good enough to make me want to do it over and over and over.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think setting, I guess, the number of encounters to such that I can just keep playing through the game, I think that's the ideal. But to me, like what's implicit on the tin of an RPG is if I want to grind and just become all powerful, they should just let me.
You know what? That's fair. And then when they do the auto scaling, it just cuts that completely out.
Yeah, it's taking away my player agency, and I don't like it. But even outside of combat, like difficulty scaling, it's more than just enemies. If it's just enemies, it's a pretty easy solution, right? Like you said, you can just auto scale them, or you can procedurally just calculate how to generate more enemies. Just say, okay, we're going to throw in a few more grunts. Maybe that's not super fun, but you can do it. But when it comes to
like if you kill them too fast, then it's like, oh, reinforcements.
Yeah. But if you're doing like a puzzle design, you can't just like procedurally scale a puzzle, right? Like you kind of need to know what's in the player's headspace and how they perceive the objects they're interacting with as they approach this new puzzle, and you don't know. You almost have to like retrain them every time they come up upon that puzzle again, and that's
right, because they have to know what they can move, what they can what's the word I'm looking for, manipulate, and like what the pieces might be before they can even put the puzzle together. Are you having to basically take each and every puzzle and make it its own full tutorialized self?
Kind of, yeah. Like, and I get this from like my days because right now my studio is owned by Warner Brothers, which is awesome. That's why we get to do like the Harry Potter stuff.
Nice.
But under Disney, right?
Because you did the Harry Potter game, didn't you? You did a lot of the level design.
Hogwarts. Yeah, I did. I was on the dungeon team, so we did a lot of dungeons and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. So anytime you leave Overland and you hit the loading screen
and you go down underneath.
It's like, yes, that's the dungeon team. We made some of that stuff.
Nice, dude.
That's where we got to do our more kind of scripted gameplay. But like I was saying, like when at Disney, one of the problems we had was we're making games for children. Like Toy Story 3 was for kids, like
for sure
5, 6, 7, whatever. And so there's kind of a limit to how much you can can scale the difficulty, which drove me nuts because like
you like hard games.
I like I like complex. I like the complexity. It's not even that it's hard, but like
a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, moving parts, kind of understanding the possibility space in a much more complex way than just if I drool on this controller, I'm going to win. That's probably over exaggerating what we're doing, but we're trying to make it something that's really pick up and playable for a young child. And for me, it's like if I want to like the game I'm making too, while respecting the audience, that we're catering it to. And so I kind of came up with this philosophy for like how do I keep the player engaged? Because one of the ways you keep player engagement is it's called that just right curve, or you're trying to get them in that flow state,
Sure.
where like it's hard enough that they have to kind of fight against it, but not so hard that they're bouncing off of it, not so easy that they're bored. So how do you do that when your difficulty cap's like right there? Like I can't increase it anymore. So I called it my novelty curve. So my goal in the game was I won't make it harder. I'll just make it get wackier. I'll just do weirder things. I'll make more things explode. I'll make the puzzles look weird. They're simple as dirt. And so I try and incorporate that when I'm dealing with
games for young audience.
Yeah, and even now when we're doing like an open world game, I try and think about that. Like if maybe I can't ramp the difficulty as high as I like because I can't guarantee that they've seen this puzzle before. I can probably ramp it a little because you can kind of get some insight as to it's likely they've seen this before based on where this is in the game, based on where it is in the map. Probably can't go whole hog, but I can increase the novelty. I can add something new and interesting that's a twist, but I don't have to make it too hard. And that's kind of what I'm shooting for usually.
Yeah, then that's not an easy balance. I feel like maybe like my favorite example of that kind of level design is probably like Breath of the Wild shrines. I feel like they absolutely nailed that down. But even with like that being the best that I've ever seen, even then it's still frequently like, well, shoot, I'm going to have to look up an online tutorial on like a couple of them just because I couldn't figure them out,
Yeah.
And so it's like, I think that's kind of what you're trying to avoid, right? Is I got to go on YouTube real quick here before I can beat this one kind of thing.
You want to avoid it. The thing, and this is a personal thing, my people I work with, we fight about this all the time. Like, you should never have to go to YouTube. Like, well, sometimes people just aren't going to get what you're laying
Right.
down. It's just the goal, the fundamental goal. Nobody should ever have to go online. But
not all players are the same.
Not all players are the same. And even if it's super simple, sometimes, people are just not thinking about it the way you were. So my goal is primarily, yes, they shouldn't go online. But if they do have to go online, my goal is for them to say, oh, okay. Not like, well, that's stupid. Who would do that?
Right. Well, I can think of like an example of like I would say maybe not intentionally, but like particularly bad design that I ran into recently in Arc Raiders. Have you played that one at all?
I have not, but
there are a series of quests that occasionally will make you go to a specific area and find a thing on the ground, right? And you open it up, and then an item drops out, and then you have to grab that item.
Oh, God.
Right? You know exactly what's wrong. So what do you think players were complaining about?
Yeah, like, I don't know what to do once I open it up.
So, yeah, a lot of the times people would open up the box or whatever,
just wander off,
and then like, oh, cool, I found the thing, and then they leave, and they don't realize that it dropped an item on the ground that they have to pick up. And so they're like, I thought I finished this quest, and they couldn't turn it in because they didn't pick up the item that came out. I did 2 of those quests where I opened the thing, I pick up the item, and on the third one, I still did a stupid, and I forgot. Oh wait, it dropped a thing.
Yeah, that's one of the things I hate most. Well, I hate so many things in game design, but that's why it's so great. There's so many ways to kind of tailor it. I hate those kind of unnecessary steps.
Where like you've clearly done the thing, but you have to do one extra thing.
Yeah, you're like, and it's not just like having an extra step. It's that this is pointless. There's like absolutely no reason I should have to like, go into my menu and select the grab option or, whatever it is. It's just, it's adding extra friction just for the sake of the friction, right? If the extra friction is fun, like if there's like some kind of mini game about now I have to do a thing to actually grab this thing. I don't know what that would be. It sounds terrible what I'm saying, but they could make that more interesting, but it's just like, no, you just have to remember that it's on the ground.
Right. Well, and like Final Fantasy 14 does it a lot too, where like you have to go talk to one person, they'll give you an item. You go talk to another person, you give that person the item, right? And instead of going and talk, and then you're done, right? It'll like, you talk to the first person, the item automatically just appears in your inventory, right? There's no like grabbing it from them, right? But when you go to the other person to give it to them, it'll pop up a thing and you have to click it and then look in your inventory and where's the item? Where did it go? Oh, there it is. And drag it into there. It's like, why do you have to do that?
Yeah.
Why does the item even exist?
So, no. Yeah, I feel like that's like a relic from like older like 8-bit games where they just couldn't figure out that stuff. Like,
right.
Well, we'll just put it in inventory and you can manage it because there's no way for us to know.
Do you think there's a lot of game developers out there that have been doing it so long that they've brought old habits like that with them?
Oh, I absolutely think so. Sometimes you can play a game, you can say he started in the 90s, he started in the 80s. You know, there's kind of like there's tropes. Yeah, like if you're playing a game and there's combat involved and you go into an area and it locks off and then a bunch of enemies spawn, that's a game for the 90s.
100%. That was going to say 90s for sure. That's PS1 game right there.
Yeah, because that's what you had to do because you can't have the player leaving the area and they don't have a clean way of locking you in that's more fun than let's just erect an invisible wall and spot everything in. And
all the doors close all of a sudden.
And surely our enemies can't handle, different kinds of terrain types. So let's make that sucker flat,
Yeah, for sure.
And that's fun, but it's definitely a relic of that era.
That's fair. Well, I don't know what goes into game design or level design personally, but it seems like it would be a constant like series of new challenges every time, depending on the game.
That's why it's so fun, right? Like every game is kind of a different mentality. There's always new technology to work with. Like just going from back on I think my earliest console was like a PS2, what you can do on a PS2 versus a Wii versus a 360 versus, PS5. You can just...
A lot more processing power.
Oh, yeah.
A lot more RAM.
I used to have to sit there and worry about poly count, right?
You don't have to worry about poly count anymore?
Not really, no.
Oh, nice.
That is not the limiting factor. Like,
what are the limiting factors now?
It's shader complexity.
Okay.
Like I like to work a lot in the material system nowadays. I'm not supposed to because that's not really my job, but I like to do it for prototyping purposes.
It's fun though.
So I'll do because but like shader complexity can get really nutty because you can do all kinds of things where it's like querying the engine for like the depth field, which basically the shader can somehow intuit how close it is to another thing, right?
Okay.
And if an object intuitively in the shader now knows how close it is to like the wall, you can do all kinds of cool things with the material and how it reacts when it intersects.
Have like light bouncing off the wall onto the material next to it, or
like if you're making like a sphere of like water and it intersects the wall, if it knows where the wall is, it can kind of blob out and can do interesting things. Or if you wanted,
that's done on the shader level.
Sometimes, yeah.
Whoa.
And you can do it like in Unreal. You can do it with soft bodies, right? They have this thing called a flesh system, and it can tessellate a mesh and then simulate everything moving as if it's made out of jello. But that's actually really expensive. Doing it on the shader level is cheaper. It doesn't look quite as good, but it's close. So you kind of got to figure out that balance. Or another thing is like it's math. Is how much math you're doing. Like this is already out. So in the first Hogwarts game, I did this floor that undulates with you. So as you walk, it kind of bends with you. And
that's cool.
If I was to do it again now, I'd do it a different way. But at this time, I spot a programmer out there is going to roll his eyes and yell at me for doing this. I made a blueprint that just basically does a bunch of tiles in a grid. And then on tick, as I'm in the blueprint, it starts moving things in a lerp vertically as the player approaches. So you get this kind of wave form going as you move it. It's completely a visual thing. It adds nothing to the game, but it's that novelty that you want. Eventually, I did add some gameplay revolving around it, but that kind of stuff is expensive to do. Like having that many actors running math all the time, every single frame.
Because each tile was individually moving, whereas I'm assuming nowadays you would probably just make one thing that you would warp.
Yeah, well, yeah. Now you do it you could do it in like a shader, right?
In the shader, okay.
Yeah, you just do it right in the shader. That causes some other problems. If a tile moves, the collision goes with it. If you move something in a shader, that collision ain't going. So you got to solve that in a different way. But
neat, dude. That's wild, man. What would you say were some of like the biggest challenges you ran into? You said Hogwarts Legacy was one of your more recent ones. Like,
yeah,
did you had to make that run on a Switch, didn't you?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't sound easy. That's a beautiful, graphically intensive game.
Yeah, the problem with the Switch, and that's more on the code side, is it just doesn't have enough RAM, right? So you're trying to stream this world in, and there's no place to stream it to.
And it just run out and error out.
Yeah, so I think the big thing for that was kind of simplifying the memory load on the Switch. So as you're running through the areas, there's just less stuff coming in and out. So
were you like despawning stuff, or like just spawning in less to begin with?
Just less to begin with, right? But there's other things you can do, like you talk about despawning. There's a radius at which things might spawn in, depending on how your open world's set up. So you can just kind of maybe shrink that a little bit and say, maybe you don't see quite as far,
That's
before
fair.
things pop in, or maybe we don't spot. Maybe I don't need all these leaves everywhere. Maybe that's not important to the gameplay, because it's probably not. So, but you also want to do that in a very kind of what's the right word?
Judicial.
Judicious way. You want it to still be the game. You just gotta take a few things off the.
Gotta be careful about which ones you choose.
Yeah, and that was. It's really good we did the Switch. I'm glad we made that. But, we finished Hogwarts Legacy and like, okay, let's make it run on the Switch. You kind of just like, oh, gosh.
Was it painful?
Yeah. It was shockingly better than I thought it would be, right? Like, porting some things to the Wii back in the day was really painful. They
don't speak the same language at all.
Yeah. It's just the delta between like the Wii and like the PS3 was just.
Oh, the PS3 specifically with that cell processor? That was an oddball, right?
Yeah.
Did you design games for the PS3, or was it mostly just porting?
Yeah, I mean, so the Octane engine, kind of like the Unreal engine, it's kind of designed to scale to anything. So our Octane engine could indeed scale. You could design it on the PC, and then it'll just, push out a version for the 360, for the PS3, and for the Wii. The problem is
kind of how Unity does.
Yeah. But just because you can push a version into the Wii or a Switch or whatever, it doesn't mean it's going to run, and let alone run well. So you still have to go in there and say, how do I make this go? And it ain't going to go sometimes. And so you got to make some decisions,
Some individual tweaks. I know when the PS5 was first coming out, they were really hyping up the SSD speeds, making it so that level swapping and no load times and all of that. They made a really big deal about that. Do you think they overhyped it, or was that really like a game changer with Hogwarts Legacy on like being able to use high speed SSDs with it?
That's a tough question. Yes, I think that's really cool. But
did it matter really?
Yes and no. I'm not in that world of like engine design, so I couldn't tell you for sure. But my feeling is this: we were making a game for everybody, and it needs to run on the lowest common denominator. So if you can solve it for that, then it's gonna run. I think the big game changer for like a PS5 is that initial load into the game. But once the game's going, and I guess when you load into the dungeons, that is really helpful, because nobody wants to be interrupted by gameplay. But once the game's kind of running and you're streaming in the open world, I don't know that it matters anymore, unless you're tailoring it specifically for the PS5, because we still have to make that run on, the PS4. We got to make it work on the Xbox One. So
gotcha.
You solve that hurdle.
Really only PS5 exclusives can really do anything special with that, because
anything unique. I mean, somebody will comment or yell at me one day like, no, you're wrong. Like, okay, I'm probably wrong. But from my mind, like the big win is from the title screen to the game going. That's nice. Or if you have to, like in Hogwarts Legacy, like if I want to warp back to the castle, that's going to go much faster on one of those ultra SSDs.
Gotcha.
Versus, say I have like a mechanical hard drive. Do people still have those? Those are fun.
I have some for holding anime, but that's about all it's on there.
I have some for a NAS drive, but I'm afraid to swap them out.
Yeah. Well, theoretically they last longer, but I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, but
do they last longer than than a regular drive would normally last, like from decay? I don't.
It's hard to say. Yeah. It's hard to say. But I heard back in the day that traditionally the way that the game design was done is that you guys would like pick a console to work on, and then once that's done, you'd work on porting it to other consoles. Is that still the case, or the engines?
The engines are very scalable now. So now you kind of have I think it's called like a lead. Yeah, we call it like a lead SKU. So it's the one we're tailoring it for.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's still gonna mostly work on the other. So it's you get it for the one you're tailoring it for, and then you go back and you just do whatever tweaks you need to make.
Can you say what your lead SKU was on Hogwarts Legacy?
I probably could. I'm not sure because I didn't really use the dev kits during most of it until the end.
For level design, it wasn't really your thing.
It didn't matter to me. It's like I just need a fun game and it's going to go everywhere.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So it's not really as much of a consideration anymore because I know with like Final Fantasy 13, right?
Mm-hmm.
That one, it came out. It was clearly made for the PS3.
Oh yeah,
and they totally took advantage of that cell processor and like coded it specifically for that. And then the 360 version was ugly.
I remember that, and it was kind of like almost an afterthought. People were pissed off because like, how dare we not have an exclusive PS3 game?
Right.
And the weird thing is now, like unless you're doing it on PC, the 360 is kind of the best one to have now because of backwards compatibility with the Xbox One.
That's true, but it's like 3 or 4 discs, and all the cutscenes are compressed.
They're terrible, yeah, but
it's like AVI files.
But you can run the game faster, I guess, on a Series X now with backwards compatibility versus the PS3. Although I was a PS3 guy during that era. I had my 360, but I loved the PS3.
There's no other consoles that play PS3 games. It's just the PS3. Like Xbox is really weird with their backwards compatibility, but I think Sony's also been weird in different ways,
Yeah, they're just like, we don't care about the PS3.
Well, like it's like PS2s play PS1 games. That's cool, right? PS3s, unless you count just the first gen that are all dying now, they play PS1 and PS3 games, but most of them don't play PS2, right?
Dude, that whole situation freaks me out because you guys won't even take those or sell them, right?
Yeah, they yellow light. We have a bunch of them in the office here that we were thinking about maybe getting them reballed and then trying to sell them.
I have 2 because I'm paranoid like this. I have 2 of the. They're not the original. They're like kind of the ones that had kind of half the hardware mix, where it kind of it has some of the PS2 chips in, but half of it's emulated. But I have 2 of those that have been reballed. I don't even dare play them.
Once they're reballed, you're safe, man.
Well, that's what they say, but I don't trust it.
Well, I feel you there, man. If I can't warranty something and feel confident that it's going to last, I can't confidently sell it, right? But it was just weird to me that like, PS4 won't play anything but PS4 games.
Yeah.
Right? Nothing else plays PS3 after that. PS5 plays all the PS4 games, but nothing before that. And they even did a little survey. They were like teasing, like, hey, if we made a console that played PS1 through 5, how much would you guys pay for it? And I was like, are you kidding me? $1,500. I would pay that.
Really? You'd pay $50
for a PS1 through 5 hardware natively playing all of the games? 100% I would do that.
But would it be native? Like, really? They're not going to make another cell processor. It's going to emulate it.
You're right.
Like, get yourself an Optiplex. And just,
yeah, okay.
There's ways to do PS3 now. They work pretty well. I'm not going to.
I guess you're right. But I still think people would pay money for that.
I would too, but I don't think I'm a typical consumer. I just buy random stuff because I think it's cool.
What's the craziest video game related purchase you've ever made? What one that you think, why did I do that?
I bought Snatcher. That was dumb. Why would I buy Snatcher? And you know what?
Snatcher's amazing.
It is amazing. Have I played it? No. I don't have. I want to.
That's your craziest oddball?
In terms of like price, yeah.
Okay.
I think once you sold me a copy of Magic Knight Rare. Thanks for that. I did play that
on the Saturn.
Fun. Yeah.
Did you know that one has a different ending between the Japanese and American version?
Does it really?
Yep.
So now I have to buy it again.
We get the Japanese version. It's like $12.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think. And I have other things I've bought that I sometimes question. Like I ordered that Evercade Atomic Edition, which looks really cool, but I don't play the Evercade.
The Evercade's a weird one for me, man, because it's like...
I like the idea of it. I just, I have all those games other places.
You're right, exactly. It's like a official but not official way. Mm-hmm. Like they're licensed, they pay for the rights for the games, but it's still basically just little emulator cartridges, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
And it's not even really good. What is it? It's not like a ROM chip or anything. It's like it's kind of. It's memory that's not projected to last forever. So,
gotcha.
Like, I don't even know if those games are preservation quality. Maybe they are.
Right, and the
don't sue me, Evercade. I don't know.
Well, the hardware is just not on the same level as like analog, right? Like, if you get an analog pocket.
Yes, and I have the analog. Maybe those are kind of weird because I buy those.
Those are gorgeous.
They're amazing, but I don't play on them either because I have original hardware and I have a CRT, and that's more fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I do love playing old school on a CRT. That is by far the way to do it. Like people who do all of the upscaling and the RGB and everything, like more power to you if you're into that kind of thing. But man, just straight CRT, I feel like there's so much that gets lost even in the best of upscaling. Your eyes were not designed, the games were not designed to go through a flat screen into your eyes. They were designed to have all sorts of like hardware limitations that were used and abused to make it look more real than they could at the time on a real like crisp image.
Yeah, it's like Sega Genesis games. They had no colors. They could not push colors. And so they're like, you know what we can do? We can make it kind of blurry. And on a CRT, we're going to make that waterfall look transparent.
And it did great.
Yeah, and it's amazing. And you put it on a modern LCD, you're like, oh.
Like, what am I looking at?
What is this thing? And yeah, I think another one of the weird crazy, like the Boxy Pixel handheld stuff.
Yeah, like the mods.
Yeah, like the machined aluminum. I have like a GBA SP unhinged, the aluminum unhinged
I love
one.
the unhinged. I don't love making them, but I love
them. That's one of the dumber things I've done because it was really fun. It's a fun mod, but it's kind of expensive.
You're like $200-$300 in at the end of it.
And like you said, it's fiddly because there's not a lot of room in there, and there's no give. You can't just force it close.
Right. Well, and also if you're doing like the headphone jack mod, that's the hardest part because you got to route all those wires all the way around the entire board.
Yes, I did that mod, and it was annoying because I'm stupid. Like in terms of electronics, like I can follow the instruction. You give me instructions, I can solder it. But like if it's kind of novel, I'm like, I don't know. So like the headphone jack they sent me was different than the one in the tutorial. I'm like, which one does what? So I just sit there soldering wires.
I had the same problem. I had the same problem when I first did it because like the one they sent, the one in the tutorial is like 3 on one side and 1 on the other. Yeah. And the one they send you is all 4 on one side.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know what these do.
And like, you can kind of look and see like where do each of them go in where's the metal piece shaped so that it's going to touch against on the headphone jack, right? But then it's like, okay, but what needs to short against this detector pin so that you know that is it the ground or does it go to voltage? What is it?
Yeah.
I just
explain yourself, Boxy Pixel. How dare you?
Right.
But I love their stuff. It's good.
No, and its quality. I do run into a problem a lot though, where those little screws strip out super easily on those aluminum frames.
Oh yeah, I bet.
What do you do?
Hot glue.
No, thank you. Because I'm charging customers money to do this install, and there's no way that they're going to accept hot glue in there. So yeah, I've just got to always be very delicate. And one thing I've run into a lot with those is that I'll get everything together. It's perfect. No strip screws, everything. I'm just so excited that nothing went wrong. I'll go turn it on. And then there's one stupid like button doesn't press quite right, and I had to completely tear it down again. And it's like now I'm going to strip a screw this time for sure.
Yeah, I'm really anal retentive about like D-pads and buttons. So like if I do like a Game Boy Color, which I do now and again, because you got some cool shells, you got to make one, right?
There's a lot,
but the aftermarket buttons are terrible. And and so I'll either just use the original, but even those don't always work. And so I've wrecked entire builds because I just keep taking it apart and I'll get that button out and I'll like sand it a little and bevel it and put it back in, and eventually I've stripped the screws, and so now I'm like you put in a little super glue in the screw hole and wait for it to solidify, then you can retap it. But eventually sometimes I just wreck things. Just
all the screwing and unscrewing it they wear out fast, and especially anything with the clear plastics. And if you ever get one of those shells that's like crystal clear, like you can really see through it, those crack faster than anything I've ever seen in my life. They're just brittle.
Oh yeah.
And people will come in and they'll spend good money on these parts, and now I'm only charging like $39 for the install, right? I'm not charging a lot, right? But they spent good money on these parts, right?
Yeah.
And I have to make absolutely sure that I don't wreck it in the process, because otherwise I got to rebuy the parts for them. And I have never once had, I don't think I've ever even once had one of these mods where the buttons didn't feel a little bit wrong.
Yeah.
Afterwards, because they're just third-party buttons in a third-party shell. Even if you use the first-party buttons, they're still rubbing up against a third-party shell that's not quite built to the exact same specs, and it doesn't have the same amount of wear. It's not injected the same way or whatever. And somebody will pick up a mod, right? And frequently they're like, I have to press the B button just a tiny bit harder than I like.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'll do what I can for that.
Mhm.
But like, well, they're like, well, I just spent $180 on this. I need the B button to be perfect. I'm like,
yeah.
it wasn't perfect in your original console, but I get it.
Yeah.
And so I'll tear it back apart again, and then I'll strip a screw post, and then I'll have to buy another shell.
Yeah. Yeah, it's those, and it's the for the buttons. It's those aftermarket membranes are not good. They're just bad.
I try to use the original membranes when I can, but man, they always need so much cleanup. They're so nasty in there, especially Game Boy Color.
But it really works well now. I've discovered this. They have a mod where you can, and it even works. I believe it does it work on the D. Yeah, it works on the D-pad too. You always use the original D-pad. You should never. But in my opinion, I'm probably wrong because you're better at this than me. But they have these new things for like the Game Boy Advance or the Game Boy Color, which is what I use. You can install like the tactile switches,
the little clicky boys.
Yeah, those work great.
Pop cap ones.
Yeah, those are perfect. Those come out really nice.
I've
like
never
the
done
buttons
those.
work. The buttons always work. It's dynamite.
Okay.
It costs more, so you'd have to upcharge. But
yeah, well, there's a lot of solder work involved.
It's
sure.
not that much because they have like a flat. It's like a flat little board. It's like 4 or 5 points. You just lay it down. Tick, tick,
it's
tick.
all of the buttons on one thing. It's not individual little buttons.
No, all on the one. You just lay it over the top. Tack, tack, tack.
Send me a link.
Okay, yeah. Well,
I want to see that.
It's amazing. Like I did because I was doing a Game Boy Color that has like a Metal Gear Solid thing on it. It's cool shell. But I couldn't. It was like the thing. I couldn't get the D-pad or the buttons feel right, especially diagonals.
Mm-hmm.
It's like trying to play Contra.
Did that solve it though?
It solved it. It's perfect.
Dude, I bet you that
perfect.
Does that feel like the handheld equivalent of like a good mechanical keyboard?
It's
oh man,
it's game changing.
I love that. Game changing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did it.
Yay.
There's your plug.
Game changers. We'll do a plug at the end too. Hey, speaking of plugs, let's plug in that Super Nintendo. What did you bring today? We're gonna play a game.
Do I hold it up or just no? It's
just
already.
Just hit that power button. Let's see.
Okay, what
do we got?
Okay, this is what I consider to be the best game ever made. I'm not saying it's my favorite game ever made.
You think it's like as far as design goes?
It's like a perfect thing. It's Yoshi's Island. I know, Mario.
I've actually
Mario
never
World.
played this one.
Really?
Yeah, I've played through Super Mario World 1. I didn't get a Super Nintendo until I was a full-grown adult.
Yeah, I was a Sega kid myself. My best friend had a Super, but I never played this as a kid.
I went straight from NES to PlayStation 2.
Oh, really?
And 64.
Wow, you poor child.
Well, little Dreamcast in between.
Okay, Dreamcast is great.
Dreamcast, yeah. And then
that's a hidden gem there. Well, not hidden, but
then later on, Sega Genesis, and then Super Nintendo was all emulation for me back in the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I emulated a lot of Super Nintendo.
I remember college when those emulators started coming out. People were pretty excited.
Dude, I was so stoked to be able to play. I played all the way through Tales of Fantasia with a language patch, what do they call it, the Bad Tomato or whatever language patch.
Yeah.
And I was just blown away by that game. Have you played Tales of Fantasia before?
I have not. Its claim to fame is it has like a full audio song in it, like
it has an opening song with lyrics, and in the back of the manual it has all the lyrics so you can sing along with it.
That's so cool.
It's compressed to shit, but
on a cartridge. People these days don't know how cool that was.
It was amazing. Yeah. A lot of spoiled Gen Z and Gen Alpha kids these days. When it comes to video gaming, they just don't realize how much it sucked back in the day being a gamer. You know.
I think they do because everybody plays Roblox now, and that is just.
I got super lucky. My kid barely touches Roblox.
My kids love Roblox. That's all they do. I'm like, but I have a office just full of cool games that are, and Roblox is ripping those games off.
100%.
Yeah, and they're like, I have better versions of this. Like, no, I can get points and buy stuff. Like, oh well, I can't do that in my game.
How great would it be if we could give this game all of our money, Dad? Come on. Yeah. I know I already paid for it, initially, and have been paying for all these cosmetics over the last couple of years, but we could give them more money.
I know. My kid, he'll come to me like, I feel like I got ripped off because, somebody in some game scammed me out of a thing. They do the trades in Roblox. He's like, I got scammed. Like, dude, you got scammed when you bought Roblox.
Roblox is, the monetization part of it is definitely not good, right? But it's honestly not what Roblox gets the most flack for. I mean, they're kind of notorious for just kind of not giving a crap about predators. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it freaks me out a little bit.
Like, how do you cope with like your kids being all about a game that's kind of like well known for diddlin' kiddlins, you know what I mean? Like, what do you do?
Well,
do you have to like keep a close eye? Or are there good moderation tools for that?
Well, the best moderation. Well, for one, I don't let my kids play in private to start with, so all our computers are in the open that they have access to, and we have very specific rules. And the big one is you cannot talk to people. Like you do not have any. You don't get to interact with anybody, and if they ever do, they just get banned, from the game. Okay. And not every.
What about like text chatting? Can they do that?
No, they cannot. Absolutely not. There's just
okay.
That's a good policy. They can talk to each other, but usually they're next to each other. They sit next to.
My kid's been playing a game at his mom's house on Roblox called Pressure.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
It's just I don't know how to describe it. It's it's an indie game that that's what Roblox's whole thing is. People make their own games on it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's been playing it with his sister and occasionally with a couple of his friends from school.
Yeah.
But he's started like recording himself playing it, and his mom has been posting it on YouTube.
Oh no!
And I just like, do I support that? Do I push back against that? Like, what's the right move? I have no idea. And I don't want to like start a fight with his mom about it.
Yeah, that's a tough situation. But like in my family, like no, you don't. My kids don't have social media. They will not have social media. I basically spent. I'm going to be called a bad dad. I spent my life trying to make them really dislike social media.
No, because social media is toxic, dude.
Yeah.
I don't use it on a personal level.
Yeah.
I use it for the store, right?
Yeah, and then there's use cases for it. Like it's a useful. How do I
You're trying to scratch stuff off, right?
Oh, that's what it is. Okay. It's been a while.
So this is like a bonus stage after each level, or?
I guess so, yeah. I think I'm trying to match 3. I forget. Oh, yeah, I got to get... Okay.
You got to get the Mario.
This is the one... Okay, this is the best game ever made. I hate bonus levels. I do.
So
I don't always.
It would be the best game ever made if not for that.
They've ruined it just now. It happened. It's my fault. I usually avoid getting the bonuses. That's how I play. How
does that work? Like, is it like the flowers or something? Like,
I think if you collect certain number of things, you get like there's cult pickups to get a bonus.
Okay.
If I recall, I haven't played this in a fair bit, but.
And you're like eating stuff to make eggs that you can then throw at stuff to clear the levels?
Yes, yeah.
Well, that was neat. So what is it about this game that you think like really is like unique or like makes it good? What makes it the best game ever?
I think it's that dedication to novelty. I'm really into novelty in games, and this game is just rife with it. Like every level has kind of a different vibe, has a different trick it wants to teach you.
Sure,
it's not afraid to like show you new mechanics. And like to me, for like if you're gonna say is this the best like story ever in a game, no, because it's a dinosaur carrying a baby around. But in terms of like just raw gameplay and fun, like I can't find much fault with it. Right? It's constantly throwing new things at you.
I feel that way about Mario 3.
Mario 3 is on par, right?
Would you say Mario 3 is also the best game ever, or is this one gotta beat?
I would say this is better because it looks prettier.
Right? Okay, there you go. It came out later. It looks good.
Well, yeah, this is like Miyamoto just doing his thing, because like, I remember when
it is gorgeous.
When they came out, this was after like Donkey Kong Country, which what was it? It was the game that settled the debate as to Sega versus Super Nintendo Donkey Kong Country, and they're like, Miyamoto, make something just like that. He's like, no. And he used the Super Effects chip, right? It can do all the things. It could do what Donkey Kong Country did. It could pre-render everything, but it's like, nah.
Chose not to do it.
I'm gonna do my own like crazy style.
It is a nice art style to it, though. It looks very like crayon drawing. You know what I mean? Like the thick outlines on everything, and it's really pretty.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
But like I said, I never had a Super Nintendo growing up, so I never got a chance to really try it out. What are you doing there? That's just a 1-up.
Yeah, you get a thing.
There's got to be something we're missing, right?
There's something I'm missing. This is why I can't talk and play games. I've like somewhere I've missed a cue. There's arrows though.
It wants you to go across the top.
I know. I got to go back. See, this is why you shouldn't have people play games.
Oh, dude, I know.
No, it's cool.
Yeah, it's always a tough balance, right? Between I want to still have
here it is,
gaming
okay.
be a big part of the show, right? Because you know, like I always say on the show, like a lot of people who do video games, you know, buying and selling, developing, all that stuff, it's really hard to make time to stop and play games. And especially with retro games. Oh,
Like, look at this.
you needed to be a helicopter.
Yeah, this is why this game is the best.
Well,
Look,
what about Mario?
he'll catch up. He doesn't
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't matter right
Is
now.
he bubbled or something?
Yeah, he's fine. Don't worry about Mario. Yoshi's got him. It's fine. Like this, like I said, this is why this is the best game ever.
I would never.
Who
have
would turn a
expected that.
dinosaur into a helicopter? Nobody.
Miyamoto did it.
Miyamoto. He's
Oh,
yeah,
it
see,
only gives you a little bit of time.
gives you time. I was supposed to go somewhere, but that's okay. It lets me do it again. See, even that I failed, and they're like, no, back in the action. It's fine.
Dude, that looked super painful when you turned into a helicopter just now. Just saying.
Oh yeah, but it's not happening to me. This is why I don't like first-person games. I always feel like that's happening to me, and it bothers me. Like I don't want to be the guy shooting. I want to look at the guy getting shot at. You know.
Fair enough. Oh. Oh man.
I did it.
Oh, it turns you back into a Yoshi. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I missed.
It's like a teleporter.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of neat.
But it's a clever design convention because like we surely can't let you be a helicopter everywhere. It's like no, we'll put a time limit. There's a specific spot where you have to turn back. I mean, they're working with the constraints of the game of the day.
For sure. Well, I mean, it seems like, you know, really good level design.
It's brilliant.
Would you say it's better level design than like Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yes.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on Sonic?
I mean, I was a Sonic kid, but like think about like Sonic. The goal is to go fast.
Yeah.
Until you run into something, and
It does stop you a lot.
And you're gonna run into something a lot. Why? Because you're going too fast.
Because you're zoomed in.
And so like, well, we don't want to kill you because we've stopped you because we told you to go fast, and we put something in the way that you can't avoid. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna give you some coins, and as long as you keep those coins, you'll be fine. We're just gonna stop your game flow. And I'm like, that's
okay. Yeah,
I don't like it.
I can see the issue there.
Like I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love the game Sonic the Hedgehog. The feel is good, but it's not what I'd call like.
I like the vibe. I like the aesthetic. I don't know if I necessarily like the game design. I love the soundtracks though.
Oh yeah,
Sonic's got the best music.
Yes, like
Well, Sonic and a couple of good shmups.
Sonic is good. I love the whole story about like Michael Jackson developing Sonic 3.
He totally did work on it though.
Yeah, he did. And then there's different stories as to why his music. I mean, his music's in the game. It's clearly in the game.
There's definitely some in there for
but
sure.
he doesn't claim it. And so there's like different stories. One is like he was accused of some stuff, and so they disassociated. The other was that no, he just didn't like how it sounded, so he's like, I don't want to be associated with it.
No, I think it's both, right?
It's probably
I've
both.
heard both of those, but I think the reason that Michael Jackson was okay with it was because he wasn't happy with the limitations of the hardware and how it came out. And I think the reason Nintendo was okay with it is because they didn't like what was going on with him in the news.
Yeah.
And regardless of whether you think he was guilty or not, Japan doesn't care. You get accused, you're off the books. You know what I mean? Like that's it. They're done. They don't want. They're so gun shy about any kind of scandal being involved in any way. They just absolutely can't have it.
Yeah, it's kind of like remember Mike Tyson's Punch Out? Like that was like a big deal for Nintendo, and after that, they kind of just stopped, doing licenses like that.
Yeah. Yep, I remember that. Do you remember Mike Bison? Do you know Mike Bison?
I don't know what is a Mike Bison.
Mike Bison was a Street Fighter character.
Oh,
Do you know the story?
It's because what's he called? M Bison is Balrog in Japan, right? Yeah,
yep.
And Vega is
Vega
was the
Bison.
boss, and and Bison was Vega.
Yeah,
or
so
it was Balrog, and then Balrog was the guy with the
claws.
Was Vega.
So so they swapped him around so that M Bison wouldn't be so obviously a boxer.
Yeah, because it just
Mike
ripped him
Bison.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
100%.
They're just and you played it's like the Revenge of Shinobi, right? The whole thing is just copyright infringement,
I actually never played it.
Oh, okay. So like if you're a collector, right, you gotta look for the right version because like the original version of Revenge of Shinobi on Sega, it's got like Spider-Man and it's got Batman, it's got
really?
Yeah, it's got Godzilla. It has Sylvester Stallone in there.
And then they re-released it without that?
And then over time, they're getting pressure from, the rights holders. And so they've iteratively reduced those things. And so there's a later version where everything's just stripped out.
Oh man, that's not even worth having if the original version has all that stuff.
Yeah.
Is the original version easy to identify, or do you just have to plug it in?
You have to play it. So when I got mine, I believe I bought it from your store. I mean, I was like, I'm going to return this if
it's the wrong one.
But I went home, I got like my Game Genie out, and so I start warping to the levels because they show up in the boss fights.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, yes.
So it takes a while. There's no way to like look at the cartridge and be like, this is the one.
I don't think so.
Oh man, that's brutal.
It's not like, I think maybe if you had the original box, maybe there's something in one of the numbers, but
do they sell for different amounts, or is it?
I don't know. I don't think they do because I don't think most people care.
It seems like it
but I
should,
care.
though.
I care. It's important to me.
It definitely should go for more.
Yeah.
You gotta pay the Godzilla tax or whatever.
It's kind of that thing where it's like, if nobody knows about it, nobody's gonna charge you more.
Well, we'll get the word out.
Yeah.
Dude, have you ever seen the phenomenon where like, the YouTuber uses the phrase hidden gem and then a game just like skyrockets on eBay?
Yes, I'm part of that. And not that I'm on YouTube, but like if I hear hidden gem, I'm like, I'm on eBay. I'm like,
right.
Oh no, I'm never gonna be able to get this game.
Dude, that dude just bumped off of that other dude.
I know, it's not brilliant.
And he squished and everything. They animated that.
Yes.
I love that.
That's why Nintendo is so smart. They're like, no, it's good. Look, he died in his lava. It's great.
Okay, I can dig it. I can dig it. This is a good game.
Like games where the enemies follow their own rules is really nice and hard to come by.
It's that level of attention to detail. Oh my god.
Yeah, right. And they're like, that's the super effects chip right there in its full glory, rendering a rectangle. But
yeah, it's not going full Star Fox on us.
No, but
it's doing what it can. Is something here gonna fall down? It kind of looks like there it goes. Love it, dude. It's a beautiful game, man. I'm a big fan of like I'm a big fan of when you can tell that a game was a passion project. You know what I mean? That's for me probably the most important thing on if I'm gonna enjoy a retro game at least, is like did they really care, when they were making it? Were they trying hard? Did they put the attention to detail in there? That's why I love Gimmick so much. It's one of my favorite games ever because it's nothing but attention to detail.
Did you try Gimmick 2? Did you like that one?
I haven't tried it because I'm worried it's not going to have that same magic and it's going to spoil my image of Gimmick.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you better not try then.
It's a little hipster of me, I guess. But have you tried it?
Yeah.
Was it not Gimmick?
It's not It's good. It's like it's all the gimmicky things are there, but it feels like they're like, it doesn't feel like they're trying to create a cohesive kind of game. Well, it doesn't. Gimmick feels like they're creating this kind of set of fun gimmicky obstacles to overcome one by one, right? And this one, there feels like they're trying to create like an open gimmick universe world, and so it doesn't. It doesn't hit the same way, It's just
the whole thing about the first Gimmick was that it was, what ways can we trick you and mess you up? That was the whole. In fact, that's where the name came from, because that's what they thought Gimmick meant. They thought Gimmick was like a haha, I got you moment.
Yeah.
And that's not even the character's name. Everyone calls him Mr. Gimmick or whatever, but it's Yume Taro.
Is that not his name? It's not Mr. Gimmick?
His name's Yume Taro.
Why is it called Mr. Gimmick?
It's because in Scandinavia, they were like, I don't know what you mean by gimmick, so I guess that's his name.
No.
That's it. Because the translation didn't make sense to them, and so they're like, that's got to be his name.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Only came out Japan and Scandinavia, and so that's all we officially got for the first one. But
I mean, like the boss fights in Yoshi's Island, to me, they're kind of like a forward-looking, making fun of boss fights, right? Because
what are you supposed to? Oh, I see. You just hide underneath him.
Yeah.
You gotta like hit him in the nose or something.
Yeah, you just
just anywhere.
You just wail on him for a little bit, and he shrinks. But like, it's cool because it's like it's one of the enemies you encounter, and in some kind of games, sometimes they'll just use one of their enemies as the boss, and they'll just
just make him big.
No. Even in modern games, they'll like use an enemy as the boss, and they'll just make him a hit sponge, and you're like, that's not really a boss fight. So this
increases HP.
And here they're like, no, we're gonna take one of our normal characters, and we're gonna warp the crap out of him and make it different, which is And they didn't do this back then, but I feel like Miyamoto was looking to the future at the trend of people just reusing their characters for bosses and saying, no, I'm mocking you now because...
He turned bright red because you knocked his pants off. And he got embarrassed and then he left. That is freaking crazy.
It's good stuff.
So I see what you mean about the novelty factor.
Yeah, it's all over there. Yeah. Like, I love Jap. Have you played Super Tempo?
Is that the 32X tempo or is that different?
No, Tempo is the 30. Tempo is it's the Japanese Sega Saturn sequel to that, right?
Oh, it's like Tempo 2, basically.
Tempo 2. And it's...
I haven't, no.
Oh, you should. It's amazing. In the first level, there's... This is a Japanese novelty, right? There's this area where there's a waterfall and you have to climb this waterfall, right?
Okay.
You get to the top and it's just a kid peeing.
Is the waterfall just a kid peeing?
Yes. It's so funny.
Oh my God, Japan.
Yeah, I know, but it's...
But they do that a lot. They do a lot of like zany stuff that only would work in Japan, you know?
Yeah.
Like, or at least they used to. I don't know if they're still doing it as much, but
I think it's less. But like the Choaniki games, where it's like two dudes flying around just shooting.
Yeah, Super Beefcake Muscle Man or Harmful Park. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
Oh, I want a copy of Harmful Park so bad, but it's so expensive.
Yeah,
I can't justify it.
Yeah, I just have it. I don't have that. I have it emulated on my Vulix because it's fun.
I have a ROM of it as well, and I'll hook it up every now and then and try playing it and suck really bad at it because I've never been good at shmups.
Yeah,
but it's just. The novelty of it is so it's like the artwork on the front of the box or the cartridge or I can't words right now.
It looks like a picnic, right?
Yeah, it's just a little picnic not basket, what's the word, like a little drop cloth.
Yeah, the blanket, whatever.
Yeah, a little picnic blanket, that's the word. And it's just not the game at all. You're flying around on a bike trying to stop a madman from like destroying the theme park or something. I can't remember exactly what he was doing.
I don't remember, but I know you throw a lot of pies.
You can throw pies. You can. There's boomerangs and bananas. Like all the different weapons are crazy. I suck at it though. I can't get past like the second level.
Oh yeah.
And that's been my experience with most shmups.
Shmups are really tough. I love shmups, but I'm terrible at them too.
I have a hard time with shmups almost all being kind of the same, except for, like you said, the weird Japanese ones like Choaniki, Harmful Park, Ikaruga. That one...
I love Ikaruga, but I can't get anywhere in that. So
it breaks my brain, dude. Oh, you're going to be in a spot here. Oh, you're good. Never mind.
Okay. Yeah, that's... Yoshi's got moves. He's fine. He's all right.
They were aiming for kind of low difficulty on this game, right?
Yeah.
So like you were saying before, it's like instead of ramping the difficulty, they ramp the novelty.
Exactly. It's my kind of game because I'm not... My attention span for games is kind of... Sometimes it's a little lacking. So
yeah. What have you been playing recently when you have the time to actually play something?
Let's see. Well, the new Metroid 4 came out. Metroid Beyond. So.
I heard bad things.
Yeah. Well, a buddy of mine worked on that, so I'm just gonna say it's amazing.
Okay. What did he do on it?
He's in my field. He's a level designer. I don't know specifically because he's not allowed to talk. He wasn't allowed to talk about it with me. So
if he's a level designer, he doesn't get the flack for what we all know is the problem. Right?
Which is...
What's the problem with Metroid Prime 4?
That Metroid should always be 2D. That's my...
that's your concern?
Take, yeah.
I haven't played it, but I've heard that the extra characters in there putting out like jokes and telling you what to do the whole time ruin the vibe.
That's not what Metroid's about. Yeah. It's supposed to feel alone on a planet and you're Samus and I'm going to kill everything. Right.
It's supposed to be foreboding. It's supposed to be spooky. And you can't have that with like a comic relief constantly in your ear,
Yeah.
Because what's the comic relief relieving you from? It's relieving you from the atmosphere.
They've turned it into a Zelda game. Hey, listen.
Oh my God. I was telling my girlfriend about it actually this morning. It's funny that that came up, but I was showing her a video. I'm like, this is the beginning of the game. You got to escort this guy and he's talking like this the whole time. And she's like, is his name Fee?
Yeah.
Like, might as well be, dude. Might as well be.
Yeah, I haven't got crazy far. What else have I been playing? I really like kind of classic arcade games. So I've been playing, as always, a lot of Taiko Tatsujin.
Oh, I love Taiko.
Yeah, so I have you heard of the Rhythmagica controllers for it?
No, the only controllers I know are the official Nintendo and the Hori.
No, I don't have a Hori. So the Rhythmagica, they did like a 10-inch replica, but they did it's like a 17-inch full-on replica.
Oh, like the big one.
Like a big one. So I have a big one, and then I got from Game Room Solutions. Plug to them. I buy a lot of stuff. This it's like a pedestal.
Okay.
And they themed it for me, like with the taiko stuff. And so I mounted the drum on top of the pedestal. It's against the wall. And
dude, that's as good as having the arcade machine in your house, really.
Yeah, the only downfall is I didn't have enough room for two, right? I can't have like two drums side by side, but I got one. And so I've been playing that a lot. And then have you played Groove Coaster?
Is that the one with the thing that like go up, down, left, right, or tap it?
Yes.
Yeah, I have. They have it at round 1.
Yeah. So we have one. We have something we did similar to that. Like there's a website called crap, I forgot what they're called, but they make a replica Groove Coaster controller.
Oh, no way.
It's huge. It's beautiful. And so I did the same thing with the pedestal and a vertical screen. And it's my daughters love Groove Coaster.
That's awesome, dude. I love Japanese rhythm games, but I'm a little bit of a picky princess about which ones I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would love to actually have some good functional arcade machines in my house, but they're all so expensive and they all break.
That's why you got to make them. You just make them.
Yeah, do what you did with the taiko drums.
Yeah.
The ones I really want though would be hard to make because I really want Chunithm and Nostalgia. Have you played those?
Yeah, I've heard of, what's it, Chunithm?
Chunithm.
I think I've heard of that. There's the company I looked at, they have a controller for that. It's very expensive, yeah.
I might
because I think it comes with doesn't that one have a screen on it?
So Chunithm doesn't have a screen, but what it does is it's like a flat touch pad that's basically a keyboard, right? But you don't press the keys, you just put your hand to touch it, right? And then it has a sensor up above that. So one of the you have to tap the things on there as they come down, right? But sometimes you have to also then you're tapping it and then you lift up and then you come back down at the right time.
Oh, yeah, I don't think they have that one.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And Nostalgia is just a piano.
Okay, yeah, I think they have the website I got my Groove Coaster controller. I believe they have the piano one.
Okay. I would love to get that, but then I don't think they make like a console version of it. Like, do you have to just emulate that, or like what would you actually do to actually get the game going?
I would check Techno Parrot and see if they've ripped it off.
Techno Parrot?
Yeah.
I'll check them out. I'm not familiar.
Yeah.
I wasn't familiar with Game Room Solutions either, so it's good to know.
Game Room Solutions, they do all these custom arcade cabinets. They're like quality to price. They're kind of like the best I found.
Okay.
Right. So like they have a really good Guitar Hero one. Like I have a Guitar Hero one.
It's like a Guitadora, like Guitar with Drum Mania. Do they do that?
Well, they make the cabinet. It's really just a shell. You put in what you want, like a PC or whatever. So
sure, you do like a MAME.
So this one was designed around they have two. There's like a big Guitar Hero cabinet and then a smaller one, which is what I have because space. But then
they're mostly just making the frames.
They're making the shell, but then they can also do artwork for you. So they have a lot of like stuff. Anytime anybody submitted artwork to them, they basically just stash it away. So you don't even have to make it. You can just say, "Do you have anything kind of like Guitar Hero?" And they'll send you like 10 different things. And you're
that's awesome.
And that's what I did with mine. I'm like, I'm not going to get into Photoshop right now. So I'm like, I want
that up.
I want that marquee and I want that side art and that front and send it out.
Eric, could you send me some photos of some of your Game Room stuff? I would love to see it. And we'll put it up in here.
The coolest thing I have, and this was expensive. The other stuff you can do cheap. I imported a Vulix.
So what is a Vulix?
Oh, it's a Japanese sit-down candy cab.
Oh, sir, like the traditional candy cab. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a more modern one in that it's a widescreen, so it's not like it's not like come on, I'm gonna die.
That would be the first death of the game if you did.
Oh yeah, it's too
How do you get that flower down there?
I don't care.
Don't care? Because you don't like the bonus levels.
I'm not really a collectathon guy. Plus, yeah.
Yeah, because that looks like what it is if I was just watching here, and at the end of each level, that little circle that goes around, for every flower you got, there will be a new flower on there. And so the more flowers you have, the more likely you are to hit the bonus level.
Yeah.
Not that you need it. You don't need the extra lives. You haven't lost a single one yet.
No, because this game's easy, but... Oh, no, not again.
But it's not Kirby easy.
Oh, there we go. The touch fuzzy get dizzy thing happened. This is another thing.
Oh,
Look how cool that is.
my gosh. Look at that.
Yeah.
How do you suppose they coded that? What the?
Oh, it's they're using on old CRT games. They found out later that and now I think I'm going backwards. No. They found out they can keep track of the scan lines, like as the lines are drawn. So as the scan lines go down, they're actually pixel shifting.
Oh, that's wild.
That's how they get the warps. That's the thing that's so cool. Is like nowadays we've kind of solved a lot of game development. Like we can kind of, if you have the processing power, you can kind of do everything. And an engine, like it's all there. Like, but back then in this area,
really
they had to
creative.
really just think it over, like figure it out. Like like doing split screen was a chore. Yeah.
So is game design getting lazier? Because I feel like you end up with these like huge files for a lot of games. Like Call of Duty Warzone is like 300 gigabytes. It's like they didn't optimize anything, right? Like it's just, is it just like they didn't compress the textures and like is that a thing nowadays where you don't have to put in the same amount of effort?
You don't even have to compress the textures because the engine will do it for you, right?
But does it though? Because 300 gigs is a lot.
Well, but it adds up, right? Like in older games, because you're so limited by file size, like to do, maybe it's laziness, maybe it's just you don't have to anymore, but like to do, like if I wanted a different kind of pot, or you didn't want to just have 30 different pots because that's going to increase, your memory footprint. So, you'd have a pot, maybe it scales, maybe it swaps textures, maybe you don't even want to have an extra texture space so you can like sample different colors or do, some hue shifting. And so you can get variety that way. You just don't have to do that anymore because we just have the file space. So you can just say, no, I'm going to make a new pot and that's life.
Just 3D model it again.
Yeah, or dupe the one you have and mess with it. So I don't know if that's lazy. I think it's just acknowledging that.
Yeah, maybe lazy is not the right word.
It's just acknowledging we have the room to do this stuff, so
okay, but
why not?
Do we really have the room to make a 300 gigabyte PS4 game? Like, if we're being honest with ourselves,
no. But
like that's
maybe not. But
there's something wrong there, right? I've heard the theory that they actually, like specifically Call of Duty. I've heard a theory that maybe they're doing it on purpose so that that's the only game that you can fit on your PlayStation. Do you think there's any possibility that they might actually be thinking about that, or is that just nonsense?
Actually, I couldn't know. I mean, maybe. I mean, I'd heard the theory years ago that like the PS2 was so complicated to develop for because they didn't want them developing for anything else. So, sure, maybe.
I'm wondering.
It's a company. Companies want money. That's kind of their main goal.
Yeah, I get that, but like, I feel like. Maybe I'm too old school. This is an outdated way of thinking, but I feel like if you want your company to make money, then your company should make a good product. You know what I mean? And competing on any other grounds is a short-sighted strategy that won't make you as much money. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, Team Cherry, right? Team Cherry makes more money than a lot of like AAA developers, and it's 3 dudes, and all they do is try really hard to make the best game they can, and they don't do skeezy nonsense like they're not coming out with paid DLC or like what do they call it, season passes or loot boxes or any of the other money making schemes that the big companies are doing.
I agree with you 100%. I have sympathy. It's probably the wrong word. I have kind of game development is incredibly expensive and it's an incredibly big bet, right? And it's not
for sure. You could lose out bad,
and it's not getting any better. Like we have all these amazing tools to develop games, but they just keep getting more complicated. They're getting larger. There's more expectations. So I think there's kind of
the development's getting more expensive and also more risky.
Yeah, and so I think in a publicly traded company, I think there's this idea that like we can't take this kind of risk. We need to go for safe bets, which is why things start to get a little bit samey. Why we see
yeah, well,
in established IPs more than anything new, and
that makes sense though. Like publicly traded companies, you're dealing with a boardroom of investors who are their only concern is how much money can we make, right? and they're not willing to like put out Expedition 33. You know what I mean? They don't want to roll the dice on something so different. But that's the only way that we end up with good games, is when something so different is allowed to exist. And so, you know, that guy had to leave Ubisoft in order to make that game, and now the world is a better place because of it, at least for gamers, right? But you know, I get that. Like, I'm not blaming the managers or the developers for this, but just I think maybe the whole corporate, like big business corporate, like what's the word I'm looking for? Structure system. I don't know. Man, I can't find the right word, but like the whole fact that there is a giant company with a boardroom of investors, right? The whole fact that it's a publicly traded company, right? It no longer is needed, I think, for games to come out really well made. Like Pal World came out and it feels pretty AAA, right? But it was made by a bunch of high school kids, really. The tools are there now that you don't need like the millions of dollars of investment money to make a good game, and we're at the point where I think millions of dollars of investment doesn't guarantee you a good game anymore.
Well, no, it can't. And even great sales isn't going to do it. You know, like you go Super Nintendo era, if you sold 100,000 copies, it's like a monster hit. Now it's like, if I sell 3 million units of a AAA game, I failed and my studio's probably going under. You know?
Right, exactly. It was like, if you've put, you know, millions and millions of dollars into making it, you have to make millions and millions of dollars to break even.
Yeah.
And so that makes it tough.
And I think there's, if you can overcome the, you know, the fear, I suppose, and make like the great game, right? The upside is really huge, right? You can, but the incentive structure to facilitate that is not there. The incentive structure is to, you know, do the sure thing.
That's fair. Well, and it's easy to look at Team Cherry and say, hey, that's what everybody should do. But like, how many indie developers put all of their heart and soul into games that never got played? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I heard
like,
what is the stat? Like 10,000 new games a month are coming out on Steam. You're like,
yeah, and like,
there's not the market for all that, unfortunately.
And like one game, maybe 3 games tops a year really blow up. You know what I mean? And they blow up short term, it feels like. You know, like we had Lethal Company everybody was talking about it for you know, the longest time. It was like the only thing anyone wanted to play was, well, at first it was Fall Guys, lasted about a week, and then because then Among Us came out, and all anybody ever spikes are instant death, huh?
Yeah, who knew?
Okay, I love it. That's just like
I guess I found out just today.
Did you didn't know?
No, I'm sure I knew.
But 7 Yoshis.
It's been a while. Yeah,
that was your first death of the day.
I know. I feel bad. I feel guilty.
But
I should have prepared. I'm sorry.
Oh, whatever, man. You're doing great. We've had. I don't even want to call out some of the fun times we've had on this show leading up to here. I was on one episode. I was doing some Mario 3, and I wasn't looking at the CRT because we didn't have these yet, and I was doing all of the lag going through the capture card and everything, and it was a disaster. But what I was saying before is, like, you know, the games a lot of the time will just, you know, explode in popularity, and that doesn't last, right?
Yeah, they just go.
And you know, some games are, I think, lifelong winners, right? But there's I remember it was like Fall Guys, and then immediately Among Us took over, and now nobody talks about Among Us. And then you know, a few other games exploded like that too, like Helldivers was really big for a while, and then there was
kind of went away, didn't it?
A little bit. And then what else was really friggin' big? There was like Lethal Company, but then Repo kind of took its place. And now nobody really talks about Repo, even though it's been getting lots of updates, and it's like basically not even the same game anymore. Like nobody really plays it because everybody's moved on to Arc Raiders now, and like it's a fickle industry. So I get why the big corporate places do what they do, but I think we're fortunate to live in a world now where we can also have you know, a good healthy amount of independent developers as well. It's not just, like a couple of little crappy indie games like somebody made in their basement. It's like you can have an indie AAA title now.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, and like the development tools that we have available versus years ago. Yeah, and you can do it in your bedroom.
It's not the same world at all anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's not enough it's not enough anymore just to have the tools. You have to be able to execute, which is great. It's
right. You've got the passion. That's the important part.
Yeah. It's like I always say to the interns, like, great ideas are everywhere. They're kind of a dime a dozen in a way, not entirely, but it really comes down to execution. Can you do this?
Anybody can come up with a good game, but not everyone can build a good game.
Yeah. And that's kind of that's the trick. That's what I hope to do one day, make good games.
Do you still have that fire in you? Are you still passionate about what you do, or does it get to a point where it's just like, I'm here for the paycheck?
No. I love my job.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate to have it. It's like in a world where there's and all work is important and necessary. So, but the fact that I get to do something like this is, I wonder at my good luck sometimes, because you get that imposter syndrome. Like, am I good at this? Like, I hope so. I don't know, but
that's anybody at any job.
I'm so grateful they let me try.
I can't tell you how many times I've been deep in the imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
It's everybody, man.
Yeah.
But it's good to hear that like you still have like that fire for doing what you do, because it is, especially nowadays, it's really easy to get stuck in a job that you hate. And I keep hearing everywhere that like working on video games is not a good job, right? That's what everybody says, is that like the hours suck, the pay sucks, and like the creative control isn't really there. But maybe that's just for early on, or I don't know.
I think. Oh no.
Oh, right in the hole.
Oh gosh, I'm this level.
Let's go ahead and let's call it a day on the game there. Let's wrap up a couple more fun ideas about like what it's like working in the industry, and then call it a day. We're actually over time, but I cannot stop. I'm having such a fun time chatting with you.
All right, cool.
So I mean, like, do you think that working in game design is like would you, if your kid came to you and said, I want to go to the U and do the EAE program and make video games for a living, what would you say?
So years ago when I first started, and even at this time, I still love my job. Don't get me wrong, but like the industry has matured a lot. And
in good ways? In
good way, yeah. I think so, and maybe some bad ways too. But in generally, I think things have been improving. Years ago, like crunch was kind of like the rule, like, and it makes sense, It's like I said, it's a big bet. It's a small studio. You're investing all this money. You got to get that game out the door,
right? Because you don't make money until it sells.
Yeah, and then that's how you get to make the next game and the next game. And so, and because game development kind of grew up amongst kind of, young kids who are kind of unattached, just, gutting it out in their basements and then creating these amazing things and IPs that everybody loves. Talking to you, Doom. Anyway.
Yeah, for real.
Like that's just in the culture, right? And so we were crunching all the time for Disney. We had to crank out a game every year, and there was something fun about that. There's a lot of games on my plate from back then, which I'm really proud of, but
a good kind of stress.
Yeah, but it's rough, especially if you have a young family, and my wife is always mad at me, like, you're gone. Like, I'm sorry.
Well, yeah. So do you think it's a field that people should be looking into or encouraging their kids?
That's what I'm saying. Like, lots of things have changed, and I think it's matured, and there's been kind of a realization or an acknowledgement that actually this is not just a field for 18-year-olds fresh out of high school looking to make a name for us. This is an established business, and so now. Guess what? You can have work-life balance. You can do it. We can do it. And so...
You're going to have to at some point.
Yeah. And so, whereas under Disney, I was crunching all the time. Under Warner Brothers, I'm not saying there's no crunch. There's certainly times when, like with any job, like, let's get this into gear. But it's much more manageable. It's nice. It's pleasant.
Okay.
And so, yeah, years ago, we used to look at each other during crunch time because we're, there at like midnight eating our Apollo burgers or whatever, because that's what they provided. We're like, I could have been a dentist, because it'd be like Friday night. Like, dentists don't tend to work on Fridays sometimes.
Right.
Well, my
set your own schedule.
Yeah, like, and you're looking how many hours you're working a week. Like, I'd probably do better at Walmart right now.
Oh my God. But is it gotten better over the years?
But it's better now. It's a great field. Like,
You think so?
I think so.
That's great.
If you like doing it, you have to want to do it.
I think that's the same with just about any job, right? Like if you can find a love of the job, then any job can be rewarding. It's just the thing I hear the most about game development is, like, for instance, recently in the news, Marvel Rivals came out and was amazing. It just blew all of their numbers out of the water, and then they just laid the entire team off.
Yeah.
Like, is that the norm nowadays, or you think that's maybe an exception? Because I would be scared if my kid was like, I want to make video games for a living. I would be scared he'd be hopping from company to company if he can even manage to get the next job.
I think right now, so like when we're talking about my kids going to the games in the future, I think it's going to be okay. But like right now, it's just not a good time in the tech industry as a whole.
Just in general.
Games. Yeah, I think during the pandemic, we always talk about the pandemic. It's been 5 years, but everything, it's like the apotheosis of the modern world is the pandemic, right?
It is definitely a historical turning point.
Yeah, it's kind of like when we used to refer back to 9/11 all the time. It's like,
yeah.
But like since the pandemic, there was a lot of extra hiring and stuff because, the big line was going up because everybody was staying home, and it turns out
video games.
Yeah, but it turns out that wasn't going to continue once people were out of their houses, and so I think. I'm hoping, I'm praying that this is just kind of a market correction and it will sort itself out.
Okay.
Because generally, and this is probably also generally, like, success is rewarded. Like if you make a good game, you're going to get to make the next good game. And there are exceptions to Marvel Rivals things.
Yeah. Well, and just like
basically everything Xbox is doing right now.
But just like any other field, I get that, that there are good and bad companies to work for, like, there's a difference between working for Game Changers and working for, I'm not going to insert which of the other game stores I think would be bad to work for, but there's some that,
the game stores I won't go to, and I'm not going to say which they are.
Right, we'll keep it out of our
But most in Utah are really good, to be honest.
There's a lot of really good game stores in the area. And I imagine there's a lot of really good game development studios to work for, just like there are also bad ones.
Yeah, it's just right now. This is what it keeps me up at night sometimes. Right now, there's just so many studios kind of going under or layoffs happening in tech in general, not just games. It's not just a games industry thing, but it freaks me out. I'm like, if I get laid off, can I get another? Maybe. I hope so.
Are you worried about AI?
Yes. Well,
like how worried? 1 to 10.
Well, for me, it's like 3. Like
okay.
I started using AI a little bit more, not for any finished products, but kind of like a reference. Because I was like, oh, how good is AI? Can it do my job? And I'm like, and I sometimes I just quiz it, like, how would you do this in Blueprint? And it's actually pretty good. It's like, I know how to do it.
That's a problem, though.
It is a problem, but then you get more specifics, and then it hallucinates, and you're like, you're wrong, AI, you're wrong.
Yeah.
So it's really powerful. It kind of makes the simple stuff a little simpler. It makes the complex stuff doable because the utility for me, right, is like an enhanced search, right? I can find all this stuff on the internet if I really had the patience, and sometimes I do on purpose because you gain a lot of extra knowledge just from the research,
just from what you come across along the way. Yeah,
but it sometimes can help guide you in the right way, but it's certainly not. It's not delivering you the final thing. And once you scale up complexity, like, can AI make a blueprint that opens a door in the future? Yeah, I bet it can, easy. But can it manage all the different ways in which that door is used and how it's set up in this complex puzzle? Like when making an individual little script, it can do that really well, but how well can it manage like this script referencing that? And when you scale out to the size of a game, I don't know. I don't know if it certainly can't do it now, maybe in the future, but
you don't think they're going to be replacing you in the next 5 years?
No, not really.
That's good.
I think I'm terrified of it. Like the thing I don't like, especially, is like the Gen AI stuff where it's like, I know it's not really this, but it feels like it's ripping off artists, stealing their stuff, and then
100%
crapping out a product.
Yeah, there was a game that came out recently that got a lot of flack for.
I feel like that's what it's doing. I know, like, it's in the technical sense, it's like, well, artists just look at other artists and copy it. Like, but they're not like they have a giant database full of it in the back of their head that they can pull from. It's not.
Well,
and they're not. And AI is not a human. It's like
we can give. I think the creative process a lot more leeway when it comes from another human.
Yeah.
But when it comes through an algorithm that we don't even understand how it built itself, that algorithm, right?
It's like nobody knows the black box of weights.
And what comes out is clearly Studio Ghibli. Like, come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I'm hoping because AI is not going anywhere, but I'm hoping at least, especially in those creative outputs, like the copyright rules are pretty limited. Like, I don't think I know I'm fairly confident right now. I can't just prompt an AI and I get a copyrighted images. There has to be a transformative aspect to what the human did, and it's not just ordering it up on the prompt.
Right. I think they put out a law not that long ago that like AI generated art can't be copyrighted. That it's like,
but it's partially. It sometimes can. If what I feed into the prompt is something I created and then it adds to it, then maybe it can.
That would make sense.
Or if it puts something out and then I alter it enough to make it transformative, much like any other work. If I take a work and I make it transformative, which is kind of a vague, hand wavy, like, we'll see.
Well, it's like each court can decide whether or not.
So I'm hoping that kind of makes larger places like Disney or other studios kind of reluctant to just wholly rely on AI generated stuff. In fact, I read that Disney was going to do some AI, like imposing The Rock's face onto his brother, or was it his cousin? Anyway, who was doing a stand-in for him in the new Moana film. And they're like, legal says maybe not. So they didn't. I'm hoping that holds. I don't know.
I'm worried twofold, right? Two different ways when it comes to AI. The first one is I'm worried about what AI will be able to do in the future, because there are a lot of jobs right now that people have been told, like, sure, this job's getting automated, just move into a job that involves thinking, right? And now they're automating thinking. So the first part I'm worried about
is... What are they automating thinking?
Well, they're automating thinking jobs.
They're automating, automating jobs that require a human brain, like all jobs do. But
I'm not saying they're there yet, right?
Yeah, I don't think they're there because there's the complexity level.
But in 10 years, that's my worry. My worry number one is that in 10 years they'll be there.
Okay, I'm good.
And my worry number two, my other worry that I'm really scared of, is that the big companies are so buzzword centric and so trendy and so eager to jump on AI because that's what everyone says you should be doing, that they're putting out unfinished broken crap because the AI is not there yet, but they're treating it like it is.
Yeah, but that's kind of, because I'm not an AI expert, so an AI expert will tell me I'm a moron, and I probably am, but like I look at it in a couple ways. One is, just because the trajectory is one way, it doesn't mean it scales that way, and it doesn't look like it is. Like ChatGPT 5 is better than 4, but it's not as better than 4 as 4 was better than 3 as 4 was better than 2. So it seems to be
diminishing returns,
asymptoting, I guess. They're clearly running out of data.
Do you think they're going to plateau hard? They're going to really hit like an actual asymptote?
I kind of think so. I think in terms of like the complexity of the AI model, I think they'll be able to do add in like the human code to make it a little more efficient in different ways. I think they'll gain efficiency, but like we're running out of data, so they're generating synthetic data. So
yeah, like
it's a Xerox copying a Xerox copier. Maybe it's a really well done Xerox, but like, does that scale well?
It's degrading. Well, and I like even ChatGPT, right? And when I'm using it to help me, like after my episode with Casey up at Numbskull, he told me he was using ChatGPT for some of his repair work to help him kind of like organize his thoughts and remember things that he already knew about how to repair stuff, but he forgot in the moment. And I've been trying that a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
And every single time that I use ChatGPT to be like, hey, it looks like somebody replaced all the capacitors on this GameCube disk drive, but there's one that's not there. Is it supposed to be there? What's the capacitance supposed to be on that one, right? And it comes back with, there's no such thing as that capacitor. You're hallucinating. I'm like, okay, I don't trust anything that this AI is telling me.
Yeah. So it's like, maybe it keeps scaling properly, and in 10 years we're all doomed. My gut says it's not, because it's the overhype, right? Like they're overhyping it. Like, it's really good. I'm not saying it's not a impressive tech, especially like generating art. That's really fascinating.
It can get all the finger counts right now, which it used to not be able to.
It's impressive. It makes me sad. I'm impressed by it and hate it all at once. But I see a utility for it because like in game development, right? It takes, hundreds and hundreds of people years and years and years to make a game. If it can help with that, like bring that down, and so you can make a game and not risk your entire company on a 3, 4, 5 year bet, maybe that's helpful.
But I'm worried that instead of making hundreds of people 5 years instead of changing that to hundreds of people 1 year, they're going to change it into 5 people 5 years.
But why would they?
Because it's cheaper.
It is cheaper, but if you can release a game every year versus every 5 years.
Yeah, but it's the math. You know what I mean? That's my point, is the corporate boardroom only cares about the math.
Yeah, but they also care about their returns every year. So I think they want a game every year, to be honest.
Maybe. But if it costs them 5 times as much to make it.
But then they made 5 more games.
I don't know.
5 times the games, 5 times as much. The maths for me.
It maths until you get to 6. I don't know, man. Yeah. I'm scared, but I run a retail store that sells stuff from the 90s. So as long as
AI can't make up 90s stuff.
As long as people still care about that, I'm not worried about AI for myself, but I am worried about how it's going to affect my kid. You know what I mean?
I'm terrified for my children. But I'm slightly optimistic because it's like OpenAI, right? They're like they're really obsessed with the mission of OpenAI. Like they're like we got our philosophy behind it, and we're sticking to it. This is the mission. Very high minded. And then they're like, actually, maybe we'll do Chat GPT sex bots because we need some money. Like this is not a company that thinks 10 years from now they're owning the world.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like, this is not the signaling to me that you have it all figured out. Like maybe they will. Maybe we're all doomed. But I'm not convinced yet. I'm an AI kind of skeptical, optimistic doomer, but maybe it'll be okay, I hope.
Optimistic doomer. I love it. Well, I really appreciate you coming out and chat with me, Erik. I think we pushed the time above and beyond about as far as we can. I would love
just edit out the parts where I died in the game and you're good.
The 2 times?
Yeah, just get rid of it. Nobody should know my failings.
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. It's staying in. But I wish I could sit here and chat with you for 5 more hours because there's so much that we could get into, and I would love to do it. But let's go ahead and start wrapping things up. Do you want to give a plug for anything that you've been working on, or like tell people to buy games from Avalanche Studio, or is it Studios?
It's Avalanche Software.
Avalanche Software.
Avalanche Studio makes good games too, but I think people should buy games they like, not because I say it's good.
Okay, fair enough, man.
They should buy games from the Game Changers because you guys have been good to me over the years, and you guys are great. So buy from the Game Changers and anybody else who's great around here, of which there are many.
I appreciate it, man. So that's my store, GameChangersWithAZ.com in South Salt Lake. We don't have a web store yet, but by the time this airs, I hope we will. We'll see.
Wow.
We'll see. Fingers crossed. It's the software for that has been 2 weeks out for the last 5 months.
That's all software ever made.
All right. Well, thanks a bunch, man. I really enjoyed chatting with you, and we'll see you at the store.
All right. See you there.